Today on Viewpoint, we're going to be looking at the high cost of living and essential commodities, the effect it's having on people, and how to cope it completely so that people can actually live their life, be able to access some of those basic, essential, important commodities that they really want to access and reduce the effect it's already having on the citizens way forward, and like I said before, the ways these things can be accessible by the individuals. It is Viewpoint on ITV with Caroline Okonji.
Excruciating poverty we are currently experiencing could be like a fallout from the misconceived policies of the government of the day. So I think most of these policies, like removal of subsidy and unification of the naira, the black market and the official rate, most of them were not well thought out. So this is like more or less the fallout of such not well thought out plans. But on a larger scale, I think poverty as a whole that is prevalent in our country today could be ascribed to a clandestine grand plot of the ruling elite. Like a conspiracy, tacit conspiracy they have over the years put in place to suppress the will of the ordinary man. They have weaponized poverty as a means of suppressing their free will and the choice of their political leadership. Because they know that as long as the people remain poor, their chances of maneuvering elections, their chances of winning at the poll is very bright. So because when it comes to electionary period, they can bring peanuts, 10,000, 5,000, and the people will scamper for it, jump at it, because that will go a long way to put at least one meal on their table. So the elite do not mean well for us. The political elite, they don't mean well for the masses. They are happy. They have the power to change all of this narrative, but because it is skewed towards their own benefits, they want to use it to make sure that if you bring 100,000, you tell somebody gather 100 people, give them 1,000, tell them what you want them to do, even at the risk of their life, they will do it. On the other hand, I think it's unfortunate that they have also reduced us to the basis, giving us at all points in time during their election promises of water, light, shelter, the basic amenities. Because he who is at the bottom of the ladder needs nothing except the basics. That's what we need at this point. That's what we are crying. Power has not been fixed up to this moment in our existence. It's a big shame. But what can we say? That because that is where they want us to be. Anything more than this will mean that they are brewing a kind of political opponent that will stand and really face them. So I think it's a weapon by the political elite. That's why we're here today. It's quite unfortunate, and it will only take the resilient, and courageous, fearless, attitude of the majority of the masses to stand up and say enough is enough. So that won't come at a very cheap price. It will definitely be at a very high cost. But that's the way out of this whole thing. It's unfortunate, but we must face the reality. As it is now, the elite do not mean well for us. Political elite, they don't mean well for us. They want to continue to suppress us, continue to put us down, continue to make sure they can maneuver us. It's at their own benefit. So long as we are down, they can use us at their whims and caprices.
We should think of a good leadership, because the situation we are now is very, very difficult. I don't think in the next couple of years, I don't know what will happen. But I pray that God should take control, because the situation we are now, especially with the drivers, we are getting it very difficult to cope with. When Jonathan was there, we know the situation, we know how things is. So compare it now. So the difference is very clear.
The increment in the market is very, massive in price. The increment is too much. It's okay compared to what we are selling in building now. So in cement before was 5,200, but now at rate of even 9,000 now in cement. Also in tank, in paint, in rods. Because of now move from the building now to the full stop of it. My dear, it's very, over increase. We even pity for how the salary and how they survive. You know, the impact which high cost of materials is telling on us as a citizen. It's really affecting everybody. It's really affecting everybody. We advise the government to really look towards it. Because because I suspected the dollar increase. That is the cost, the major cost of all these things. They should come in, look on it, so put measures for them to tackle this, to help all of us out of the mess.
The cost of living in Nigeria is something else. Now I would have preferred to express myself in plain English so that I can get to everybody down there. Somebody hit my car yesterday, the bus driver, and I beg. Okay, as a child of God, okay, let me let go. Not really because I don't just know. For conscience sake, on Sunday, on my way to church at about 9, so I allowed the guy to go after so much. You know, this bus drivers will crowd like bills and start begging him. Hey, different names and all that. I let him go. I did market right there, like a market. Come one fix the car, like maybe probably I was thinking like 100,000 to fix it, 100, 125. I'll be able to fix it. My brother, what I would have fixed 100,000 right now. Now about 300 something thousand I would have wrong. Be like film. To say I know. I forgot the bus driver. I'm joking anyway. Why? What do I mean by this? Things are expensive in Nigeria. Please, Tinubu, I don't know if our president. Sometimes I say Buhari, Tinubu president. It's almost like Tinubu do something before Nigerians make another hunger SARS not come up. If that one come up, it will not be very funny. It's not going to be funny at all. It will be easy. I want you to get things are expensive. Gary, 2 weeks ago, somebody bought, somebody that sells Gary bought for 18,000. As at some days back, it's not 26,000 for the same bag. Times 2 of the price. So I beg. You can see everywhere it's done. In Benin at the moment, in Edo State, we know their story. We'll give you lights, which we've never seen since politicians, civilians took over power over 20 years now. We've not had lights. We'll give you roads. That's the campaign promises. Usual routine. Education, we'll fix education. We'll fix the health sector. Now the same thing. We say 10 or 10%. We're not expecting anything different from whether APC, PDP, Labour or Zero PT. It's all the same thing. So we'll just pray to God. I think it's high time Nigeria wake up, because this 2024 we're not agree for anybody.
Honestly speaking, high cost of living has always been here. It depends on times and season. And the way it looks like now is that it is out of proportion. It's just too difficult now. Because high cost of living, the one we are experiencing now, I don't know whether I will say this one is a demonically demonic one. But what I will say is that high cost of living is here. And the citizens and every one of us, whether the high and the low, no one is finding it easy. And they were praying that God will give the government high wisdom to press 1, 2, 3 buttons and put things in place. If not, I don't know grace of God, we believe God that the God that showed up in the days of old will show up again and put everything in order for us. But high cost of living is really affecting everybody. Nobody will shy away from it. It's affecting everybody. And we pray that God will help us put everything in order. Give government high wisdom to press 1, 2, 3 buttons, like I said before, so that these things will come down. Because no matter the salary you receive now, no matter the gain you gain from your business, it's all going to go into food. Nobody is working to build house now. Nobody is working to buy new clothes. It's just food, water, manage to pay school fees. Some parents are owing school fees. They can't even pay their children's account, meet the home family needs. Okay. So, but what I'm trying to say here is that the government needs to help us.
The high cost of living now is affecting a lot, both in an individual life, both in organization's life, and it affects even far more than what people are already experiencing. The reason is because I was just trying to do an analysis a few days ago with some of the leaders in the church. For instance, somebody that have been receiving 150,000 as a senior staff in an establishment, before now they will be looking at it, oh, this person is a big person, at least is a man of level 12, his salary is 150,000. Then I was using one of our members to make as like a kind of a case study. His house is at Bypass. His office is at Ubo. Then he have a car. So we're now trying to say, okay, how much his salary is about 150 in a month. The cost of fueling his vehicle is low. We discover that he will buy nothing less than 10 liters in a day. That 10 liters fuel is almost 7,000, but we calculated it with 6,000, and we discovered that is to spend 90,000 just only on fuel going to the office. So when you remove 90,000 out of 150,000, what is left is about 60,000 naira. That 60,000, the government will have to take tax. Then house rent is there. Then feeding is there. Is married with about 3 children. Then you discover that medical bills are there. There are some other things that are also included. So to him, if people are saying from outside, they look at him as a senior staff. But when it comes to the aspect of the cash, you discover that it's as if he's not working. So there is no way such a man can be able to live a life of comfort. Talk less of those that are earning far less than that. Then you hear somebody is earning 25,000, 30,000. How will such people be able to live? So the high cost of living is affecting a lot of people, even if they are farmers. If you say you are a farmer, yes, but what about other things that they cannot produce themselves? So it still boils down that it must affect them. There are some of these big establishments, big companies that we have in this country that are already shut down. There are some of them that have to cut down the size of their staff. And today, even the staff that are there, I don't want to mention it because we're on TV, but do you know that there's an establishment that came up that day and said, one, they have to reduce their staff strength. Number two, they also said that they needed to reduce the salary of the staff. That anybody that is not convenient with it should leave. And a lot of people were still struggling. Even to the extent some of the staff were now trying to talk to the management. Why not further reduce the salary and allow the whole staff to stay? And I was just looking at him like that. That is to show to you or to express to you the effect that is happening to the citizens of this country. So I want to say this, that there is nobody that is not actually experiencing it. It's everybody. I want to start by saying that for us to provide solution, the first step that should be taken before I look at the aspect of the government is that we should start with an individual. I want everybody to be sincere with themselves, that if you want to put your trust in our government, especially in a situation where you discover that our leaders are not truthful to themselves, talk less of truthful to others. So you should be able to tell yourself that putting your trust on government is a beginning of failure. So remove your eye from the government first. Look at your life as an individual. You have to start with cutting down. Listen to this. Cut down your expenses. Try to draw out your line of activities. Check what is important to you. There are some journeys you should not embark on. There are some expenses you should not embark on. Then another step that I want individuals to also take is that the time has come for us to diversify. Don't just rest on one source of income. It will be very, very hard. By the grace of God, I am a pastor. I don't just stay in the office to now expect that, until we have a service where people will pay tithe and give offering. If I want to rest like that, you will discover that I will start lying to my people. Sometimes I want to give some fake prophecy. Sometimes I want to do some other things in order to get money from them. But to avoid that, to be able to become a pastor with integrity, I have to also try to step into other things to do. Apart from the church, we have a school. And apart from that, we are also trying to get into some other businesses, like going into farming, like trying to raise birds. These are other businesses that you can also do. Then looking at the aspect of the government have a lot to actually do for the citizens, because authority is in their hands to actually do a lot of things, and even money is in their hand. But I want it to be that the government should first of all look at the basic amenities. Today, it's the individual, the citizens that are providing water for themselves. Number two, you discover that individuals are now the one that is also providing electricity for themselves. But the cost of fuel and the cost of diesel now is so high to the extent that a business cannot survive in such a place. Please, I want to tell the government that the government need to rise up to their own responsibility. They are the one to provide water. They are the one to provide light. They are the one to provide roads and some minor things like that. They should make sure that they rise up to their responsibility. And the issue of multi-tax, they should also reduce it. Government need to rise up to make sure that at least they do some things that the citizen should appreciate, to actually know that we have a good government.
Having sampled the opinions of Benin City residents and getting to hear how they feel about the high cost of living and how it's impacting them positively or even negatively, I can tell you for free that a lot of persons are still saying that our leaders, the federal government, still have a lot to do to better the standard of living for citizens. I am Caroline Okonji. Bye for now.